But if you are simply staying here, lower level on the earth, and you use the same regurgitated information, because let's be honest, that's what a lot of people are doing, using the same regurgitated information, and because of that, cannot seem to get ahead, move forward, and see themselves in a vicious cycle year after year after year after year. And then taking a look back and saying, why am I still here after all of this time when I feel like I've been making forward movement? I have an exceptional human being on this show. And today, true to form, we have Eric Clayton. So, Eric, welcome to the show. How are you
Thank
doing?
you. I'm doing really well. Thank you. A new shift in consciousness, which has come to me, and I put it to the test, and it works every single time.
So, when you take possession, take ownership of something negative, it's then connected to you. And so I love the fact that you're really making sure this awareness is out there, because reframing our mind, reframing our words, our thought process, our behaviors, all of this is really intertwined with what we see in our life.
Yes.
So I'm sorry to go off on the deep end. This is just, I did not mean to go on a tangent, but this is something that is absolutely near and dear to my heart. So tell us what happened that caused you to have this shift?
I noticed my life.
Mm,
I noticed my life, and then I took inventory of what my life has become. Was I was determined to figure out where the ups and downs come from. There had to be something that was the root of everything that was happening in my life.
you did a self evaluation. And that's one thing I'm really, really big on. But you do that self evaluation, you see exactly where you are, and then you really track where you need to go. I want you to really expound on that evaluation process that you went through, because that's something that I see people get hung up on a lot, a lot.
Right. Well, the evaluation is when you take a look at everything that you truly believe that you are. When you take a look, if you actually wrote it down, everything that you believe that you are, I guarantee looking at it consciously, there are some things that you would say, nah, I don't need that. Nah, I don't need that. No, I don't need that. No, I don't need that. I'm holding on to that. And every time we hold on to something that we're not using, but we're still holding on to it, we're
Mm,
restricting ourselves from forward movement. It becomes a weight, and we don't even know that we're carrying some of these things. And when we get to the place where we finally can take a look at everything laid out, now you see who you believe that you are. Now, if you go from there to where you want to be. See, that's your starting point, just like you said on Google. That's your starting point. Now you plug in your destination. See, you took a good look at where you are, but now take a good look at your destination and live in it.
mm.
See, that's the part that we don't do. We look at it as something that we want. And there's the interesting thing is there's a difference between want and desire.
Mhm.
Desire is something that you want to do or to experience, or you want to enjoy. It's really just an enjoyment of something. It's a desire. You can feel yourself going there. If it's a child, you tell them we're going to Disneyland tomorrow. They have that desire. They feel it, and it's almost like a longing, but not quite. And then you have want all by itself. If you just say I want and you fill in the blank, you're telling yourself that you don't have it.
Mm.
And when you tell yourself that you don't have it, the emotion that's your thought, and then the emotion that you give it, when you put those two together, that combination is what goes into your subconscious mind. You've heard many things about subconscious programming, and nobody really tells you like a straightforward way of how to change it, and they tell you
Mhm.
affirmations, do this, do that. Well, affirmations can actually, that are meant to be positive, could actually have the opposite effect if you
Mhm.
don't use them correctly. So if you're sitting there affirming, I am rich, well, how do you feel when you say that? Do you feel like a phony? Do you feel like a fraud? And whatever you feel, that if it's a negative emotion when you're saying it, that's how it's going into your subconscious mind.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
once it's in your subconscious mind, it's now it's almost like a baby consciousness, but it needs to grow, until the way that it grows is it will then send you conscious thoughts that match itself. So if you
Mhm.
felt like a phony and a fraud when you said I am rich, it wants to grow that as a consciousness now, because when you add emotion with thought, it's going to go in your subconscious mind that way. Okay, it's just a revelation, and then
Yeah.
it will keep on giving you conscious thoughts, and every time you think it again, it's going to give you more until that consciousness grows, and then next thing you know, you are that person
Mhm.
that feels
Mhm.
that way about being rich. So you have to get that into your subconscious mind. You want it in there. So the way to get it in there
Mhm.
is to ask the question. Use the
Mhm.
affirmation and put a question mark at the end. So instead of saying I am rich, that's forceful. And your subconscious mind does not respond well to force.
Mhm.
And so if you can change the emotion with that statement, it can enter in a more loving way.
Yeah.
So if you say I'm rich, like as if I just said to you, Karena, you just won $20 million in the lottery. You're rich. And then you tell me I'm rich. See how that goes in
Yeah.
easier? And so when
Yeah.
that goes in easier, now you have a good seed inside of your subconscious mind that now it'll start sending you conscious thoughts
Mhm.
about itself. So now
Mhm.
you'll start thinking more and more that you're rich until the consciousness grows, just like a baby when you're pregnant. It
Mhm.
starts small as a fetus and then grows until
Mhm.
delivery. So it goes the same thing that happens within our minds, in our subconscious minds. It's a baby consciousness that's growing, and the baby is going to be the direct descendant of mommy and daddy, which is the thought and the emotion.
Mhm.
And the way that it goes in is the way it's going to come out.
Mhm.
And then you will become that consciousness over time.
You
And
know,
your life will have to match it.
yeah, I love the way you explain um, all of this because it is easily digestible because you have to be able to understand your thoughts. You have to be able to understand your emotions because a lot of times people mistake the two as being the same and really they're completely different.
Right.
And so I'm really thankful that you have brought this awareness and you are bringing this awareness. And I honor you for the space that you're in and the work that you're doing to help um, the rest of the human beings on this earth to really become impactful. Because at the end of the day, Eric, we're not going to be able to bring the impact that we need to bring if we are not um, really understanding and accepting the thoughts that we have, the emotions that we have, and then have them to line up